Thank you for tuning in to Iron Point Tech. Today I'm going to show you the beginner's tutorial for how to use OBS Studio. Specifically, how to set up scenes, how to set up sources, and the specific settings you want for either streaming or recording, just so you can quickly get up and running after downloading OBS Studio. So let's dive right in. Now you're first going to want to go to obsproject.com or just Google search OBS Studio, it should be the first result, and download OBS Studio for the operating system you're using. Now once you have OBS Studio downloaded and you've opened up the application, you'll be brought to this canvas. Now I have a couple scenes here that I've already done. One I just created that was empty. You won't have any scenes or any sources specified. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create a scene. You can label it whatever you want. I'm going to have it scene 2. This will be that if you're wanting to transition your screen or different settings, if you're going to be streaming or recording and you want one specific view set up that can be easily transitioned to another view, you'll want to create multiple scenes. So we're going to start with just one scene here. So you created this scene, and then in order to capture items in this scene, you'll need to add them as sources. So in this sources section, if you click the plus button, you'll see there's multiple options to do. Typically, if you're using this to record your gameplay, record your PC, or if you're wanting to use this to stream, then there's a few sources that I'm going to show you here. First, we can add in our display as a source. So if you add in the display, I'm going to create it new, just label it display capture. And then here it gives me some options. Capture method, I just keep it at automatic. Display, I have two different displays. I want it just to capture my main display. And then I click OK. So you can see here in the canvas, we are capturing our main display. I'm going to want to add in additional sources here, such as an audio input capture. If you have a microphone, you're going to want to add in that audio input. So I'm adding this as a source. Click OK. You can keep it to default, and this will just use whatever your current default microphone is for the system, for your operating system. I'm going to switch it. You can switch it to just Yeti stereo microphone, USB. You can see I have a couple different microphone options. I'm going to label it USB microphone, and you can see here it's showing up audio input capture. It is capturing my voice. So I'm going to hit OK, and that is added as a source. And then I'm going to click plus, and you can add in video capture device. I'm currently using my webcam to record, so it will not show up. But you can do video capture device, and then add in a new source and just make sure whatever video you're using, you're able to add that in as a source. And so you can see here, I'm capturing these two in my sources. If I click plus, you can see there's multiple other options. If you're wanting to stream gameplay, you can click game capture, click OK, and then you have multiple options here, a specific window, foreground, or full screen application. I usually just leave it selected as full screen application. I don't bother changing anything else in here, especially as a beginner. You don't have to worry about these additional settings. Click OK, and then you have a game capture for any full screen application. You're not going to need both of these enabled at once, either game capture or display capture. Display will capture everything on your main display, regardless of if it's full screen or minimized. And so, also the order is important to remember here. Whatever is listed on top is going to show up first. So as an example, if I have my webcam enabled in here, I'm going to want to have my webcam above game capture, above display capture. Otherwise, my webcam will show up behind it and you wouldn't be able to see what your webcam is seeing. And then this audio mixer section, you can see the audio that is being captured here from my microphone or the desktop audio. If you have an application open that has audio, you can change or lower the volume so it's not picking up as much. You can mute it, or you can even change the settings if you're wanting to change where your microphone is recording from. And then you also have some scene transition options. If you're going to be changing between scenes, you can have transitions just to make it a smoother process if you're trying to do a large stream and have a lot of different options, or different areas you're trying to record if you're recording on your PC and wanting to create a presentation out of it. Next, we'll go into settings. So a few things I'm going to go over. In general settings, there isn't much that I change here, especially this being, a beginning tutorial. I like the dark mode, so I keep that dark mode, whatever language you're using. And then in the stream settings, you can change where you're streaming to if you're going to be streaming. And then in Twitch, I show how to grab your stream key in a different video. Go find it on my channel. It's how to stream to Twitch. Have your stream key. You can see I already have this enabled. The server, just keep it at recommended unless there's a specific server you're wanting to record from or wanting to stream from. Just keep it at auto. You can click apply if you've made any changes to that. And then in output, keep the output mode in simple. Your video bitrate, this can change depending upon the power of your computer and if you're wanting to make sure everyone can stream your video either on Twitch or on YouTube very easily. You can lower this bitrate down to 3000, down to 4000, and it should do just fine. The encoder I'd keep in hardware. It should be default to that. Don't use it at software that uses your CPU, and we'd want to use your GPU instead. I don't change anything else for the bitrate. And then if you're doing the recording and not streaming, you want to choose your recording path of where you want to record and change your file size. I keep mine on a large file size, so I'm getting the best quality possible. And then your recording format, it defaults to MKV. Not everything is compatible with MKV, so I recommend changing that to MP4 or MOV. And then keep the encoder under hardware. Ignore this warning sign. Even changing it to MP4, I haven't had any issues, but that warning pops up each time. So you can go ahead and click apply. And then for audio, I honestly don't change anything here, especially as a beginner. If you're more advanced, you can go ahead and tweak some of these things here. And then under video, you just want to make sure the resolution is the size of your screen. I have a larger screen here. Most likely it'll be 1920 by 1080. And same thing for the output. I just keep it at the size of my screen. For downscale filter, I do recommend switching it to the sharpen scaling 36 samples. And then frames per second, I bump it up to 60 so that it looks pretty smooth. You can keep it at 30. Regular film is at like 24 frames per second or 25 frames per second. I just recommend keeping it at 60 so it looks really smooth through your stream or through your recording. Hotkeys, you can set up hotkeys for any of these options here. As you can see, I don't have any enabled. And then for advanced, there isn't anything I recommend changing here, especially as a beginner. So you can keep that the same. And then once all of those settings are done, you can click OK. And then now you have your multiple scenes, your multiple sources enabled, and then you can either start streaming through that stream settings that you have set up, either to Twitch, YouTube, or you can start recording where you specified in that specific folder for your recordings. You can do either option. Now that is the beginner's tutorial for OBS Studios and how to set up for streaming or for recording. Please visit my channel if you want any more advanced lessons. I have videos in there as well. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe.